Someone knocked on my window at 3 a.m. This is my first time posting anything like this on here, so forgive me if it isn't the best explanation. This summer, I decided to pick up some graveyard shifts at my current full-time job, simply because it pays more, and I am a university student drowning in debt. About 2 weeks ago, on the rare occasion that I get to sleep during the time the sun is down, at 3:30 to 4 a.m, I was suddenly awoken by a loud sound. Me being half asleep, I honestly didn't know what the sound exactly was, so I just chopped it up to being one of my neighbors dropping something, because I live in an apartment with very thin walls. So I just try going back to sleep. After about 10 minutes of laying with my eyes closed, I hear the sound again. But this time I'm pretty much awake, so I recognize what the sound is immediately. Someone was knocking on my window. For context, I am a single female living alone in a basement suite, so my windows are basically level with the sidewalk. Anyways, obviously I'm freaked out. I don't know what the heck to do. I don't want to move and make any loud noises, so they don't know I'm home, and I'm just frozen laying in this bed. Then I hear the knocking again. I instantly bolt up as my fight or flight kicks in and run to the front door, which has my keys with my pepper spray on it. The keys clink together and make a noticeable noise, and the knocking starts to get more intense and loud. This is when I realize the window with the screen by my bed is almost all of the way open, because my cat likes to sit on the edge, and I forgot to close and lock it. I start to freak out, already having major anxiety. I start looking for my phone just in case I need to call the police. Me being fucking clumsy and shaking from anxiety, I drop the phone on the ground, and whoever is at my window proceeds to what sounds like slid either his fingernails or a sharp object down the screen. I realize this person's intentions are either to come in or scare me, so like a fucking idiot, and not thinking, I run up to the window as fast as I can, slam it shut, and lock it while avoiding looking outside at whoever it was. The knocking stops, and I wait about 30 minutes without hearing any knocking. I lay back down and go right back to sleep. The next morning, I honestly couldn't believe that even happened to me. I start to think maybe it was a dream, so I go outside and investigate, and I see an empty beer bottle and a ripped up blanket. I text my only friend that knows where I live and ask them if they were fucking with me. They say no, which I figured because they don't drive and live quite far away, and the buses around my house stop running well before 3 a.m. So called my landlord and told him what happened, and he says to ignore it, and that this has happened before, which is fucking creepy. Anyways, I obviously recognize now I should have done things a lot differently and called the police right away. It hasn't happened since, nonetheless still super terrifying. But I can't afford to move again, so creepy bro knocking on my window, let's not meet again. The man at my window, listening and staring. This was 2004, when I was 20 and living in a small 2-level apartment on the main floor of a building. Out front there were 3 stairs, then a deck, then 3 more stairs to the front door, and another little narrow deck that ran the length of the front door of my apartment, which besides the door was all windows. The main floor was a tiny kitchen/living room, and a door to the hallway for laundry and parking access, all of which is totally visible from the windows. It was fall in Western Canada during daylight savings, pitch black early and surprisingly warm for the season. I had all of my windows open and hadn't closed the blinds as to get a breeze in, and was talking on the phone to my sister. I had my back to the windows, and when I turned around, I thought I saw something weird at the window. It was really bright inside, so I turned the main light off and see a man pressed against the window, staring at me. I screamed and told my sister a man is on my deck, looking at me. He seemed to take off into the darkness. I turned off all the lights inside, put the outside ones on, and I was blabbering to my sister like, "Holy shit, a peeping Tom so scary, I can't believe it." And then he just walks back up the deck. I screamed again, "He's back, I have to call 911. Hung up and did, while his face was pressed against the window, and it was still open. Windows were floor to ceiling with screened, crank-opened bottom sections that I had to open to the max, and could for sure accommodate a determined person crawling in. He could hear me and the 911 call, but didn't move. I had crouched down in the dark room and the main light was off so he couldn't see me, but I had the lights on beside the door to the hallway and on the stairs to the bedroom. I didn't want to move and let him know where I was. I should have run into the hall and banged on a neighbor's door, but I was in shock, and after all, the cops were coming from a station 10 blocks away. They'll get here soon, right? 911 operator, we can't find your address. I'm directly behind the rec center at X and Y, corner unit, unmistakable area landmark, and the only apartment building there. The man at the window starts banging on the glass. I was whispering, but assume he heard me give panicked directions repeatedly, and we both can't hear sirens. It felt like this would go on forever when he finally just ran off. Couldn't see how far, and there were plenty of places to crouch and hide, so I was not at all sure. I peek outside to see a police car, so I told the operator they're here, and then the car starts to drive away, and the operator told me to go outside and flag them down. I don't know why I actually did, because I was scared shitless, but when I did, they rolled down their window. "Ma'am, do you need help?" "Oh, you're looking for me, I think. I called 911. "We were just driving by, but what's your problem?" They never found the man that terrified me and made me feel so unsafe that I moved. But it was truly the cops not being able to find the only apartments behind a notable building that completely shook me. The frightening end note is when I moved out, they tried to charge me because the, quote, downstairs screens are shredded from your cats, end quote. The screens were pristine the day the creepers showed up, and that was the last time I opened the downstairs windows or blinds, or used the front door. The property manager laughed and mocked me, called BS when I said someone cut them, until I showed her the police report. She lived there too, so suddenly, not so funny. A huge thank you to everyone who allowed me to narrate their stories, which you can find in the description below. Stay safe, sleep well, but remember, here there be monsters.